I made it. Shouty, I made it.
Special moment for me because as many of you guys know, or some of you guys know, for the majority of my life, I struggled with obesity. I still remember when I felt like overwhelmed and I felt in bondage and I didn't think I could escape. Regardless of if your thing is obesity, your thing is something else, sometimes we all face those things in life that seem impossible. So when I look back on those pictures, it's not just a picture for me. I am reminded of the emotions. I'm reminded of the sense of defeat that I felt. I'm reminded of how overwhelmed and insecure that I felt. But what I also know is that that smile was very genuine. There's always been a sense of life about me that God has given me. And I honestly believe that it's that thing. I don't know, everybody has something special about them. It's just this thing that God gave me. I came into the world with this sense of hope and life. And that helped me from falling into depression, even as a child. And that helped me to endure and keep going. My
Bring Liana!
This is the first notebook that I started writing my book in. And you guys see my manuscript. I would take this, well actually before it didn't even have a title, and I can tell you about that. But I used to take this notebook around with me just like everywhere. And whenever I would be inspired or whenever I would think, I would just write. And I didn't know that it would really turn out to be a book. I didn't know that this would really happen, that today would come and I would be launching and people would be investing into my vision, but I just knew I had to write. I knew I had a story to tell. I didn't even always know the story.
Monday never comes. I'm so excited. You're so awesome. You did it.
So I took a week away and I went to San Diego for a week and I just got away from everything and I was just editing and I was writing. What was funny was I was at the time facing another circumstance that was very difficult. And as I was editing my book, I found God challenging me with the exact same principles that were in my book. Because in my book, I emphasized the fact that whatever your thing is, I just didn't think I would have another thing that I had to overcome. And so while I was editing the book, it was really God challenging me, saying like, do you still believe it? Do you believe it about this circumstance? Do you believe it in the midst of this? And so it was more than an editing process for me. It was really a moment of me being challenged with, I always say I would never preach a gospel or I would never say things I didn't live. And so that becomes the litmus because God always challenges me with that. And so then I get challenged to start living it. Introduction of my book as we know it is called Tell the Story. On March 29, 2013, my life changed forever. It was Good Friday, the morning of Easter weekend, and I was off from work. While sitting at my dining room table, eating a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios, I received a phone call from my mom. I picked up the phone to hear my mom say, "Lily, I tried to resuscitate your dad." Immediately, I began to hyperventilate. I knew the meaning of try. Try meant unsuccessful. My mother had attempted to bring my dead father back to life and her attempt failed. That one phone call changed everything for me. The story of my daddy's life ended on March 29, 2013. His journey had come to completion. For a reason unknown to me, it was determined that whatever work he was sent here to accomplish was complete. I think about my dad a lot and the impact he has made on my life. I wish I had captured his story and held on to every single moment for dear life, because that indeed was what each moment was. Each moment was dear life. Stories are powerful. Within them, they contain the ability to heal, transform, redeem, validate, liberate, empower, encourage, celebrate, and educate. And the cool part about the story of life is that there are no duplicates. Your story and my story matters simply because they hold the greatest value ever: individuality. What I love most about the story of our lives is that they transcend the individual person and have the power to connect and meet others in the spaces of their lives.
Like, I can't wait to get my copy. I got my receipt. I'm waiting for it. So proud of you. Girl, you got me over here like, man, forget Monday. It's Tuesday. Let me get it done. Love you. Bye. Happy birthday.
When stories are shared, they connect us to one another and give us the hope to keep living, to keep going, to keep fighting. I share my story in hopes that I would inspire someone else to believe, to dream, to heal, and ultimately to thrive. But what if that magical moment never appears? How long do you put off living, waiting for the perfect, comfortable moment in life to come and give you all the confidence you think you need in order to thrive? Well, here I am writing this book, and I can honestly say to you, that moment has yet to come. Just pray that God will just take it very far so that I can help build my community on the journey.
Happy birthday, Liana. Y'all know what it is. Monday never comes. Pre-order the book in the back.
Shout out to Queen Liana, don't be eat no biryani. She done been through lots of drama, shed the weight of work. You can't keep this woman down.
I'm very proud of you, Liana. You have stood the test of time. You've pushed in the face of fear and discouragement and depression and anxiety and being overwhelmed, and you didn't stop. And so here we are, launching a book, MondayNeverComes.com. Well, actually, that's where you can find the book. I'm full of joy. I am grateful for the journey. I wasn't always grateful in the journey, but I can say right now that I'm grateful for the journey because it's paid off. And there were times I didn't think that I would feel the way that I feel today, and I could have given up then, and I didn't. And I allowed the testimonies of people around me to encourage me to keep going. And here I am, and I'm going to the top.